Guys, welcome back. We are gonna build a $10,000 armoire today. Woo! Anybody want to see what $800 worth of lumber looks like? Let me tell you, it's not much. All right, this right here I just picked up from the wholesaler. So we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boards. We have a few pieces of 3/4 inch walnut and then a 1/2 inch sheet of walnut there. And this total was $800. That is absolutely insane. Who's gonna help me unload this? Bethany? Honey? Honey? Kids? Are you gonna help me unload the lumber? Oh, is that a yes? Oh, thanks, guy. Workout for the day. Check. Okay, so ignore that chunk. The armoire is gonna go right here and it'll go all the way up to the ceiling. And what we're gonna use, it'll actually set back behind this for the trim. But Bethany's gonna use this space as kind of a closet for her clothes. So we have a long spot here for dresses and then a shorter spot for her shirts. Then we'll have a few drawers at the bottom and then open shelving at the top. And if you're wondering what that noise is in the background, it's this one right here. Oh. Hello. Hi. All right, guys, you know the drill. We're gonna get out our pink foam and start breaking down these sheets of plywood. It's been 95 degrees outside with 90% humidity, and it is finally time to get rid of this. All right, you guys, so I have this dilemma, and I've been trying to figure out for the last couple of days what I'm going to do to be able to get these dados across from the sides. So it's really too big for me to run it through the table saw, which is what I've done on other shelves. And I don't have a sled that I could put it on and push it through. I don't have a lot of experience using a router bit to cut these dados, and I was really worried about tear out and different things that would happen into the wood. So I went ahead and made some phone calls to some of my friends. And what we've determined that we're gonna do is to take a pattern bit and to actually create a guide for that router to track along. And by doing that, it should eliminate the tear out in the wood because the guide will be pressed right up where that tear out would be forming. And I should be able to get a nice consistent dado groove by doing that. The other benefit to doing this is if I was to run these two separate pieces through a table saw, there might be a slight difference between one piece and the other piece, because how could you possibly accurately line them up so that they're perfectly in line with each other of where these grooves are going to be? What we decided to do is to actually take the pieces and to lay them out so that they're in line with each other. And then by actually routing that dado down the board with the pattern bit, you're cutting in both sides of the pieces and they should theoretically line up perfectly. So let's try this out. Hey, Shop Cat, what are you doing? Oh. All right, on the shelves here, we are putting a 1/2 inch walnut cap on the front of the shelves here.
We're doing this because on these shelves there won't be a face frame, so the face frame will actually sit out a little ways. We do this so that one, you don't have to look at the nasty plywood, and two, you know, we're gonna go ahead and glue this up to the shelves. I already did these shelves here, as you can see, and the vertical one here. So we'll glue those up, and then once the glue dries, we'll scrape off any excess glue, and then we'll run it through with a flush cutting bit. So we used a pattern bit before, which has the bearing on the bottom. So you'd ride it along a pattern and it would cut what you want. Well, this is a flush cutting bit and it has bearing on the top. So it'll actually ride along up here and cut. So that's what we're doing. All right, you guys, we have everything sanded and we are ready for assembly. I'm gonna go ahead and park you guys over here because I know that a couple things are gonna happen. One, with the assembly, it's gonna get crazy, really frustrating, and I'm probably gonna make a couple mistakes. So, with that being said, let's jump into this time lapse right now. Doing? Hey, do you like it? We're gonna take this lumber that's behind me here and we're gonna make our face frame. We're gonna rip it down through the table saw and end up using a couple castle pockets in it and screw the thing together. Hopefully, with any luck, by the end of today, we will have our wardrobe ready for finish. Similar to our last project, we were going to use a mortise and tenon type of joinery on our stiles and rails. I've actually decided not to do that. I'm going to just go ahead and use pocket holes times a factor, and with it being 3/4 inch material, I just felt like it would be an adequate means of joinery. On our last project, we used the Kreg 720 to create pocket holes that look like this. On this project, we're going to go ahead and use the Castle 100, which uses a different form of cutting mechanism in order to get this shallower cut angle, and it looks something like this. So this is the Castle 100. This is an older unit. I don't think that they sell this specific unit anymore. They sell the 110, and it utilizes a router. In this scenario here, or this machine, uses a Bosch, I believe it's a Colt router, and then a 1/4 inch router bit that swings up into an arcing motion that cuts this slot right here. It then uses a drill bit, utilizes a drill bit that drills through the back and drills a hole there. It's a two-step process. And then we have our Kreg 720. It works, they've actually done a really good job using their Automax feature in order to just line things up for you so that you don't have to change the settings on your drill block. And it uses just a drill bit to go ahead and drill into the wood. So the differences between the two, if you were to look at the drill angle of the Castle pockets, you can notice the holes are a little bit shallower there, whereas the Kreg jig has a little bit steeper angle. This does tend to create an issue with Kreg's to where the piece will want to walk like that. Kreg's done a really good job of coming up with different clamp designs to minimize that walk. Castle's approach to that is taking a lower drill angle and that then allows you to screw more into the meat of your project, and then it also helps to eliminate that kind of walk down. So this is the machine that we're going to be using today. This project is not sponsored by either of these companies. I just have them both sitting out, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I will tell you one last thing. This machine to buy new is close to $500, and then this Kreg jig to buy it new is around $150, at least at the time that we're recording this. So those are a few things that you can keep in mind when you're thinking about different joinery methods, especially pocket hole methods, and which route you'll choose to go. We're getting ready to mount the face frame to the carcass. One of the tips that I learned a while back is to actually take a nail like this and then just drive it down into the carcass, and then you snip off the top with a pair of diagonal cutters, and that allows you to be able to put your glue on, set the face frame down at a raised height, resting on the nails, and then that sharp point it'll do one of two things. It'll either drive down into the carcass or it'll embed into the actual face frame itself. So that's a tip that I learned a while back, and we're going to utilize it on this project.